pas de soleil, pas de soleil, pas de soleil.
Hello, long time no see. I have not vlogged in a minute and I missed it. There are so many plans that I want to do that I got a little overwhelmed and I didn't know how to start. Hello, I am Daphne and welcome to this New York City reading vlog. Let's settle in. But first, let me show you the classic view of the day from my window. It snowed recently, so we have some snow on the rooftops. Very cute, very cute. For those of you that don't know, that is the Manhattan Bridge. And then peeking through there, that brown little, right there, is the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, what an interesting view. We can do a different spot because I have a new bookshelf. Sorry. I forgot, like I've never put you up in this direction before. Fun. I gotta be quick though. Let's be quick. Wow. This is different. Hello, we are at a different angle here in my apartment because I have you on my secondary bookshelf that I now have, which is very exciting. I want to talk to you about the books I plan to read in this reading vlog, New York City, with a little bit of like suburbs, lifestyle vlog mixed in. Considering that it's February, I wanted to prioritize some Black romances. So I have two here that I'm gonna be reading in this vlog. Hopefully I can read them fast enough so this vlog doesn't last till the end of the month because it's already the 15th. So I have 7 Days in June, which is my IRL book club pick. Two of my friends have already finished it and they absolutely loved it, and I know this book gets a lot of good reviews online, so I recommended it to the group and I'm glad that they've enjoyed it. I've only read the prologue so far. Excited to dive into this further. This is about two authors, Eva and Shane, and they had like 1 week together when they were younger where they fell deeply in love. Something happened and they haven't seen each other in years, but they've secretly been writing to each other in their works, in their books, for a long time. And now they've accidentally run into each other again at a Black literary event, and they spend another week together and it's their romance. And just the format of it is already really interesting because chapter 1 is like Sunday, which gives me a little anxiety because when stories happen so quickly, or like I know the timetable of the story, I don't know, it stresses me out a little bit. So I'm like, oh my God, like we're counting down the days, we're on the first day. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure it's gonna be amazing. I've heard that the characters are really funny, that there's good representation when it comes to living with a disability or like chronic pain. Yeah, I'm just very excited to love it as much as my friends have so far. Okay, the next book I have is The Neighbor Favor. So this is another book about books, writers. Whoa, we have a theme here. Themed reading vlog, reading Black romances about books and writers. What a happy accident. Anyway, this book is between Lily and Nick. Lily is stuck in the non-fiction department at her job and she really wants to become a children's book editor. Lily finds escapism from her family and work pressures by corresponding with her favorite fantasy author, but then all of a sudden he ghosts her. Months later, she moves and she needs to find a date for her sister's wedding, and she meets her new neighbor, Nick, and he agrees to help her find a date. Someone that isn't him. Nick is an author who writes under a pen name, and he happens to be Lily's favorite fantasy author, and she doesn't even know. She has no idea that he's the same person, but he quickly realizes that she's the woman that he fell in love with over email. It's that romance and that story. So I'm excited about that, and I'm hopeful that it will have really good pining in it because Nick knows something that Lily doesn't, and he apparently is already in love with her. So that sounds fun. So these are the two books I plan to be reading over this reading vlog. I'm gonna be going back home to my parents' house for a couple days. I was on the phone with my dad yesterday and he invited me to help him coach his boys team. He coaches 10-year-old boys, I think, in basketball. I played basketball for many, many years. I've assistant coached with him in the past. I just don't live near my parents anymore, so I can't do that consistently. They could use some extra support and coaching because he's just one man trying to coach a bunch of kids. Yeah, and he just needs some backup. So I'm excited to go down and help him out. So their practice is on Friday, which is tomorrow, and then they have a game on Sunday, and then I might be doing some kind of like go-karting or something on Saturday with Chase and one of our friends, see Wade, for his birthday, and it's kind of like in the middle from like New York and where I'm at my parents', so maybe I'll still go. And then, in other news, I have an interview at work coming up in like 15, 20 minutes. And the way my job works, it's consulting. You are still employed, you still have your job, but you're always like looking for the next project. So there's time when you're in between projects and you kind of have to like job hunt within the company to find your next project, like it's on you. So we're having positive things go down. I had my first interview with this guy. I think it went well, and now I'm meeting his client in 15 minutes, so I have to prep for that. And then one of my other work friends hit me up, and she said she had an opportunity, so I'm meeting with her after that at like 5 o'clock. So I had like no options a couple weeks ago, like pretty much from the start of the year. Hopefully something will come through where I get some projects. So obviously, like by the time this goes up, I'll know what happens. But currently in real life, like right now, I have no idea. But at least I have some options, and hopefully I don't fudge them both. But I'm feeling confident in myself. I'm confident. I'm a very capable woman. I'm a very capable worker. I can do it. A little nervous about that. All right, let me prep for this meeting because it's actually really important. Hello. As you can tell, I am at my parents' house. Obviously, I had those montagey bits, and I have been a good vlogger, a good booktuber, and I have been reading more of 7 Days in June, and like, I like it, but also it's so heavy and dark so far. I think Max is joining me. Here he is. Camera angle, you can't really see him. Let me back up more. Don't leave! I framed the shot for you. Okay, so anyway, it's heavy and dark because our main heroine, Eva, has chronic pain, which she's struggled with. She got pregnant quite young. I think she was like 20. She fell in love with this guy. He was just like a happy-go-lucky guy. They fell in love in like 6 weeks, then got married, and then like 7 months later, she had her daughter. But he just wasn't really ready to sign up for what it takes to be a partner, a good partner, a supportive partner to someone with such a serious chronic illness like hers. She has like severe pain in her head, and just like it debilitates her. Like she'll pass out. Like she is really struggling with that and just trying to survive and just enjoy the moments that she has and things like that. And then her past with like her mom is really dark. So like we jump back in time. I guess the main timeline is probably when this book was published. So I think it was like 2021. And then we jump back to when she was 17 in 2004. I wonder if that math is correct. She's 32 in the present timeline. Her mom was just like a flighty kind of person, just like reliant on men to support their lifestyle. Like she was just a beautiful woman. Men would pay for them to live in these beautiful homes and stuff. But then obviously as she aged, those types of things weren't as prevalent, and things just got shadier and shadier. And there were just some really scummy men that were around Ava when she was a teenager. Then we jump into meeting Shane for the first time. He is a recovering alcoholic. He's been over 2 years sober, and like his story is really sad too. And he's trying to like help people in the communities that he visits, like while he works, because he does like this literary touring thing in schools and stuff like that, whatever. I'm really impressed with the book. I'm enjoying the writing. Like the storytelling is really drawing an emotion out of me, which means the book is really good, and I really like it for that. But like I'm just like emotionally like tired from it, and I am 47 pages into it. So we had a heavy sad chapter between Sean and one of the kids he mentors, and it was literally making me tear up. I was tearing up. I had to like pull myself together. And then the chapter after that, chapter 5, is called Fun Black Shit. So looking forward to something fun after all that heaviness in the beginning of this book so far. But we'll see how it goes. All I know about them as a pair is that they were in love as teenagers. Nothing explicitly said with like what happened yet, except that Shane is purposefully going to New York City because he knows Ava will be there. And now that he's like trying to rebuild his life, now that he's sober and he's like on the right path, being more conscientious of the things that he does and therapy and all this stuff, he needs to like settle things with her. Even if he says he doesn't deserve it, like deserve anything from her, disrupting her life, dredging up the past. He knows it's a terrible idea, but he's gonna do it anyway. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm intrigued. Really happy with this book so far. Now I have to quickly eat some dinner. I probably could have waited till after practice because I'm used to kind of eating late. It's only 5:10, but I need to leave here with my dad at 5:30 to go help him with practice. So I'm excited about that. My mom's cooking. She made soup for lunch. I didn't show you, but it was delicious. I'm gonna go eat both and change. I can put leggings on. I'm pretty much gonna stay in the same outfit. I put a robe on because it's freezing in the house. And then there's this radiator that I dragged into here because it was so cold. But it's better now. Anyway, I'm gonna move on with my life so I can get ready for this practice and eat and all that stuff. Okay, bye.
You're wrong with that ranch.
No, I'm just drinking some of it now so that I have the electrolytes in my body. Yeah, fuel up, fuel up. Electrolytes.
Right? And then,
Got you in the vlog, Dad. I'm out here finishing up. Me and Dad ran for like 3 miles or so together. I had 6. I'm at almost 5. I'm at 4.93. Feeling pretty good, but like ready to be done also. Snow's falling from the trees. Hello. Sitting by the window just to mix things up, but I want to be cozy, so I have my blanket and my little puppy Elle here that I got gifted for Christmas. And I'm home, as you can tell, back from my parents' house. I've been doing more reading of 7 Days in June. I'm more than 2/3 of the way through, and this book is not what I expected, not even a little bit, but I'm still really loving it. It's like so heart-wrenching and painful and tragic. Following these people's lives, mainly the flashbacks of their week together as teenagers, is so painful to read. They both are very damaged, hurt, traumatized, self-destructive. Like, that is like the main takeaway. They're like so self-destructive to themselves. They're supportive of each other and trying to be a grounding force for each other when they were teenagers, but like they just hurt themselves so much, and it is painful to witness, and it feels really real. It doesn't feel far-fetched. It feels like this is something some young people could go through, even though it's like so painful and things that you wish nobody would ever have to go through, especially at such a young age. And I've gotten to see them interact in the current timeline, with them both being 32, reconnecting, like rehashing old wounds, figuring out what happened in the past, where things went wrong. I don't want to say too much. Sorry, I have the window open if you can hear the street noise. So sorry about that. I guess it's rush hour. It's 5 o'clock. I do have a meeting at 5:30 coming up that I need to mentally prepare for. For those of you that care, I will just briefly interrupt to say that work stuff is going okay. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with that new projects. One of them is not looking great. Like, I think the client is looking for something a little more technical in the new role she brings in. So I might still speak with her. It fell through when I last spoke with you. She got pulled away for something, so I couldn't talk to her. And then another project came up, and I'm on my second round interview today. So hopefully that goes well, and I can have some stability for at least a while at work. I'm really hopeful for that, and I'm confident that I'm able to do the job, so wish me luck. Obviously, we will know the outcome. Hopefully it's positive. It will be positive. It will be positive. So our main character, her name is Eva. I was pronouncing it Eva, but then you go through a flashback, you find out her name is Genevieve in an American English accent, but then later on in a different flashback, she pronounces her own name, and it's Geneviève. It's pronounced in a French accent because she has family from like Louisiana. They speak Creole and all that stuff. So it's a French accent, and a lot of the students give her a hard time. They're like, "What's up with your name?" So her name is Geneviève. So I was like, oh, maybe her nickname is actually Eva. So I switched that. So just FYI. I don't know how I went on that ramble, but anyway, Eva, her daughter, Audrey, that's her daughter's name, right? Is Audrey? I'm pretty sure. Pretty confident her daughter's name is Audrey. But Eva's daughter, Audrey, is quite the character. She's 12 years old. She goes to private school. She's like one of those artsy-fartsy kids. I know my friend Monica really loves Audrey. She thinks she's such an interesting character. Me, as a woman that is looking towards the future of having kids soon, like, I just feel for Eva so much. I'm like, oh my God, having a kid can be so hard and challenging, and just like, I don't know, just trying to protect them from the truth, like Eva's hard history. Like, she tried to make her life sound better than it was back in the day. Like, she speaks highly of her mother, even though her mother wasn't a very good parental figure for her and things like that. Like, she kind of like creates a revised history for her daughter and all that stuff. But yeah, her daughter is a piece of work. It's like relatable on both sides because the daughter doesn't know everything, so she has these like strong opinions on who her mother is and how she acts, and the fact that her mother like isolates herself and doesn't have any interests outside of like what her daughter does and all that stuff. And then like also Eva like trying to give the best life she can to her daughter. She feels all this pressure at work, and then Shane comes back into her life and like trying to have a little something for herself, but like almost feeling ashamed of it and like not wanting to get wrapped up in his orbit again because there's just something like undeniable about their connection that's just cannot be explained. And it feels so real in the sense that like they know each other's struggles so intimately, and it's not just the simple love at first sight, fated mates, like the author's just writing it in a way that these characters are just in love easily, automatically for the ease of the story. It just feels like there's just something in their souls that is drawn to each other where they don't have to even do anything to just know each other. Like, they just meet as like 17-year-olds and they just know each other like in their souls, and then years go by and they see each other again, and it's almost undeniable that things just easily pick up in a way that they can't help but to like fall in love by accident. And oh, it's just so believable. I'm learning more about like what happened at the end of their first week together as teenagers. And obviously there was like this dramatic thing that tore them apart, but things weren't explained. Eva just thought Shane disappeared on her. They made some promises to each other and she felt like he broke them, and now we're learning the truth of what happened. It's really good, really painful. There's this character, Ty, and I think maybe I mentioned him before. Shane is mentoring him. He is just a teenager in high school, like in this really crappy neighborhood in a crappy town, and they just don't care about him, and he doesn't have like a lot of family support. So Shane is his mentor. He mentors a bunch of kids, and every time Ty comes onto like the page, I just want to cry, or I just have like such an emotional reaction to this kid. I just feel for him so strongly. I see aspects of him in other boys that I've come across in my life, like a little bit of my brother, a little bit of the kids that I coached in the past. They just don't really know how to express themselves, don't know how to express like what they want or their dreams, or like going for it, or having that confidence to like do what they want academically, or just like passion-wise and just wanting to help them out. And yeah, he's just such a sweet guy, but he's like such a big scary man of a teenager. So yeah, the dichotomy of that is also sweet and fun. It's giving 5-star vibes. We'll see how the romantic aspects continue. Changing up location a little bit just because my back was getting tired trying to sit up straight on the floor. I do want to mention that this book isn't the typical romance. It's not hitting the normal beats that you would expect. It's definitely a story about a pair of people who deeply love each other or have this deep connection to each other, but it's not like a romance first. Like, it's not about like, I don't know, it's like really hard to describe, but like it's first a fiction, I'd say, where you see the struggle of these individual people, like the suffering they've gone through, the struggles in their lives, and then how their desperation for being seen and understood and loved brings them together so violently almost. And it's that story of like their desperate need for someone and this super undeniable connection they have for each other helps for a time. It's so hard to describe. I feel like sometimes the best books, like the 5-star books, are the ones that are just doing something differently, and it makes it that much harder to explain. I would definitely recommend it, but like with the most cautious warning of like, this book is dark, guys. It is dark. There is like substance abuse, alcohol abuse, self-harm, sexual assault, pedo men around a young girl. Like, there's just a lot of triggering things. So yeah, it's like not like a normal romance where you're like, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like, it's beautiful, but I wouldn't say that it's fun, like even a little bit. So yeah, that's my update right now. I started the other book, The Neighbor Favor, like barely. I'm 10 pages in because I just needed an emotional break for a minute from the other one. But it's just a little too jarring as a switch. Like, it's just very like normal, sweet romance so far. And I just feel like I really need to like finish the other one, this one, before diving into such a different tone with this one. So yeah, I have my book club meeting for this in exactly a week. This is definitely my priority. I will definitely finish it before then. I'm captivated. I feel like this last third maybe will focus more on the romance. Did I say this? I'm so pissed that all these little blurbs from like Oprah Daily, Good Morning America, Good Housekeeping, BuzzFeed, all these types of things are focused on like the romantic aspect of this book. They're like, it's smart and sexy, blah, 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 like that kind of vibe. That is not a fair like marketing to do of this book, because someone's gonna go into it like me and just think, oh yeah, it's gonna be like just another beautiful, fun time with like black love, and it's like trauma. Okay, it is not that. I don't know why there's such this fixation. They're like, it's sexy. I'm like, they had sex once so far, and it wasn't like a normal like romance where it's like pages and pages and pages of like steamy time. It was just something that like they were drawn together to do, okay? That is not the majority of this book. This is like their struggles, their pain, how they healed, how can they come together after like being so destructive around each other so long ago. Like, it's way more than that, and I just feel like it's such a disservice for that to be the main focus and takeaway and the highlights. That's my 2 cents. I'm very interested to talk about this in book club, but the only thing that like I hope for in the book club is that we'll have some black people there, because normally I'm the only black person in the meetings. I invited my friend from high school to join, so I'm not sure if she'll show up, but she's also black. I'd love to have another person there to discuss. Not that I'm the expert on all blackness, obviously not, but like, I don't know. I don't want to be like the only black person and they're just looking at me like, yeah, like, oh, you're black, like, what do you think? You know, like, ay. So we'll see. Definitely excited to finish this, even though my heart is sore. I think that's long enough of an update. I'll catch ya later. I'm gonna prep for that call that I have in a couple minutes. Talk to you in a bit. Hi, I am on the move. It's a New York City taxi for you. But I am meeting up with some friends for some drinks. It's Friday night. I was out yesterday for a movie night with some friends from a book club. We watched Heathers, which was really fun, so I'll put in some shots of that if I haven't already. So gorgeous here. So cool.
Yeah, that's all Tracy.
I love the books.
Yeah.
So cool! I'm bringing my book along. I finished the other book, but I'll talk to you more about that later. Now I have to catch the train. I'm running a little late, but it's no big deal. It's been a few days since I've updated you. I had a very eventful weekend this past weekend. Thursday, I went to movie night with some friends from book club, which was so fun. We watched Heathers. I think I briefly mentioned that. Friday, I met up with some of my friends from college. We played basketball together. We don't always get to see each other that often because, you know, our lives are kind of spread out. You know, one of my friends is a kid, so she's a little harder to make plans with. So when she's free, I make sure to jump at the chance to hang out with her. So that was super fun. We went to a speakeasy later that night and it was just a blast. And just getting to hang out with people that I didn't actually go to college with but are peripheries of Stevens basketball and all that stuff. Getting closer to them and being friends with them has been really fun. Saturday, I had Shireen's 30th birthday party. I didn't vlog there because there's a lot of people that I'm not close with, but we took this cute Polaroid together. That was fun. And then to close off the weekend on Sunday, I went to a wedding, which I could probably pop a quick little video of if I haven't already. Those are Chase's friends from the gym. So I've been getting to know his gym friends a little bit more. And clearly they really like Chase because they invited us as a couple to their wedding. We were at the gym table, which was cool. I finished 7 Days in June a while back. I actually have my book club meeting tonight on the rooftop, so that will be fun to discuss. This book was different than what I expected, but I still really loved it. It gave 5-star vibes pretty much the entire time until maybe the last quarter where it's focused on the present timeline and them being in love and trying to figure out if they're good for each other or not. The romantic part, the true romantic part and their connection as adults, I just didn't feel it as much as their desperation as teens and how drawn together they were even after 15 years and stuff. But I don't know, just it's just the aspect of yeah, do we want to be in a relationship versus I need you? That softer side I just didn't resonate with as much, but the drama I really enjoyed. So I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, but I'm gonna log it as a 4.5 in my reading tracker. Still very, very successful, and I would recommend it with a warning, this is not a romance like you would normally expect. Yes, it's a book about people being in love, but it's not a steamy fun time. I don't know why they're it's so sexy. It should say smart, tragic, heart-wrenching on here. So that's my 2 cents. And then I've been reading The Neighbor Favor. I should have updated you sooner on this, but I am pretty much done with it. I'm hitting pretty much the climax of the story of the relationship and stuff. It's really fun. I've been laughing out loud. Some of the plot elements are a little not that strong. You know what I mean? They're pushing the story along, but the motivations are a little silly, the decisions are a little silly. So our main hero, Nick, was in an email correspondence with our heroine, Lily, and he just ghosted her and cut her off. And his reasons for that were a little silly. They were silly, but he's just very self-conscious, not confident in himself. He just is his biggest critic. His self-worth is really low. So you could understand that maybe he would do something like that. It just doesn't logically make the most sense. Like, he made like such a small thing a big deal and then made it like an even bigger deal by the way he reacted to it. So due to random happenstance, if that's the correct way to use that term, they end up being neighbors in New York City. I love stories that take place in New York City. I love how these two books are Black stories that take place in New York City about authors and book lovers. Like, that is so fun. What a theme. Anyway, he quickly learns that she's the person he was emailing. She doesn't realize it's him because there are certain things that he lied about in his emails that would not make him suspicious to her. They're like falling in love with each other, but he has this like big secret, and it's that unraveling. And there's like this whole thing where Lily like needs a date to her sister's wedding, but like that's just the smallest plot device for her to be like, can we spend time together if you help me find a date? But like, it's really not important to the plot. They're just friends getting to know each other that are attracted to each other. He's like trying to push her away, and she's like, okay. You know, I'll save my final thoughts for when I completely finish it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I know I mentioned earlier in this vlog that I had some work stuff that I was figuring out. So sorry if you can hear the construction noise. We're gonna power through. And yes, I got good news. I ended up landing a project with that second opportunity. It should be a long engagement. I feel a bit of pressure to make sure I perform very well because the contact over there mentioned repeatedly that these are big shoes to fill, that the person that's leaving the position was really excellent and all this stuff. So I really need to do well and keep this project for as long as possible. It's been running for like 3 years already. So there's potential for like years and years of working with this. Hopefully I enjoy the work because the stability of staying on a project for a long time is very desirable and not easy for everybody to attain. That's good news. I'm really grateful for that. That's pretty much all the updates I have for now. Hopefully I'll bring you upstairs later this evening, just get like a little cute drama shot of like the cute solarium and, you know, us sitting and chatting. I know not all of my friends like to be on camera, but maybe I'll just get a shot of myself. All right, so that's all I have for now. I will catch you in another clip and when I finish the neighbor favor.
Since she's a vegan, I got some free stuff.
Yes, we are at the book club. We are at the book club.
What suggestions you have?
Vlog. You want to be in the vlog?
Which is like kind of
with the
mystery type story.
baddie.
Reading. It's about.
Hi, I am here to close out this vlog. I finished the neighbor favor last night on leap year, the very last day of February, so I can count it for February, which is really satisfying. I actually finished another book that day too via audio. So like bam bam, wrapping stuff up for February, good for me. But anyway, I'm here to tell you my final thoughts on this. I will say this is like an easy, low stakes, low angst kind of book if you're just looking for some Black love without so much heavy trauma. Like, our hero Nick has some issues with his parents and stuff, but not a similar way to the characters in 7 Days in June. He just feels like his parents are a bit toxic. His mom like refuses to leave his dad even though his dad is always like trying to scam people, do these like get rich quick schemes, stealing, and like, you know, just being kind of a leech of a person, which honestly, like, I can kind of understand. Not like my own father, but like people in my life that are kind of leech-like, and, you know, you love them, so you want to help them, but at the same time, you're like, you just want to use me, like, you don't really care about me. Sorry, that's a lot of information. I mean, it's hard when it's somebody you love. There was that in here. Lily comes from a really great family. They seem very well off, very loving. It's amazing to see healthy, happy families, and it doesn't always have to be traumatic, especially coming from like the 7 Days in June. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I was thinking maybe I'd give it a 3.5 round up to 4, but the way it kind of ended, I was just like, that would be like really nice. And if I'm just being honest, it's just like a solid 3-star read. I felt like where I left off with you when I kept going, it was just like skimmable for me. Like, that's the motto of this year. If it's not fully capturing my attention, I don't need to read every single word. Let's just get to the parts that I care about and power through. And it was just like things were wrapping up, but it was just wrapping up for a very long time. You know, we're going to Violet's, her sister's wedding. We're wrapping up stuff with Nick's parents. They're like confessing their love or whatever, but like they were pretty much together for a while at that point. So it left me feeling like, okay, they're together. So why do I have 80 pages left? You know what I mean? But overall, it was like a solid read. It was a little silly. You definitely had to suspend your disbelief on certain things because like in the very beginning, I don't think I told you this. So in part 1, it takes you to page 60. That is all their email correspondence, like how they first get to know each other and stuff. And they're like falling in love over these emails, but they're the most tame, kind of normal emails. And then they just kind of escalate really quickly with like physical attraction to each other, but they don't even know what each other looks like. I don't know. Like they were just very normal, like friendly emails for the most part. And I'm like, how are you falling in love over these emails? I don't know. But we just go with it, okay? It makes the premise like fun or whatever. The next book in the series came out recently or is just coming out. It comes out in 2024. And it's about one of her sisters. I won't spoil it for you because there are things you go into this book with the sister and her situation and then like that quickly changes. And that's gonna be like the premise of the next book. Maybe I'll read it. It'll be interesting to see how Christina Forrest evolves as a writer in her next book. Sorry, I don't know, there's like weird noises going on. So I was reading Christina's acknowledgements and she stated that this was her first adult romance. So yeah, I think there's definitely room to grow and improve in the style and stuff. I looked her up on Goodreads and it seems like she writes mostly like for a younger audience, maybe like children's, middle grade, whatever, maybe YA. I think it was like pretty solid. Hopefully the next book is even better. Maybe I'll pick it up because it is really nice to see Black love and see like Black families and it just is so nice. And like the relatability for me is just that much better. It's just like not that common or not like prevalent enough. Yeah, I really appreciated that book for that for sure. It just felt so warm and cozy, like a little hug. So that's it for this vlog. Thank you for spending time with me. I'm sure it's been a long one. I have some fun plans today, so I will probably be rolling into another vlog. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. For a sneak peek, I'm going to the Met with my girlfriends today for like a little date night. Oh, and then Saturday I have my anniversary date with my husband. It's our first wedding anniversary and he's taking me to a very nice Michelin star restaurant. I got his gift already. He told me what he wanted, which is a rarity. So yeah, fun stuff on the horizon. We'll see how the next vlog goes. But thank you for watching this vlog. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. Obviously, it helps out my channel and I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you in another video. Bye!